G'day, Professor Joseph Drood. First of all, sorry for the radio silence. I've been quite ill, and I know a lot of people have asked for another 5 mostly unknown facts. So in this video, I'll go through 5 things you probably didn't know, 5 things based on rigorous empirical evidence, which is often quite different to people's opinions. Number 1, what are the determinants of efficiencies? Local governments are told all the time, you have to become more efficient, presumably because people think that more efficient councils are more sustainable. But I'll have something to say about that in my next list of 5 things. Let's have a look at the determinants of efficiency. This is proper, robust empirical work from an A-ranked journal a few years ago now, but it won't have changed, on a large panel of data using a thing called data envelopment analysis. That's how we measure efficiency properly, not with ratios, and regressing a whole list of potential determinants, potential causes for efficiency. And we only find that 3 are statistically significant. The statistical significance, remember, is indicated by the little star. Population density improves efficiency. It will increase efficiency. The more dense you are, the more efficient you will be. Hardly surprising, the more dense you are, less distance to drive that truck when picking up rubbish, less distance to push the water, etc., etc. That's not surprising. However, it's rarely actually considered and rarely part of the debate when we're talking about efficiency. What we usually talk about when people are talking about efficiency is population. But you will see here that population is not statistically significant at all. There's no star there. Having a bigger population will not make you more efficient. That's just a fact. There's 2 other things that are statistically significant there, and they're both negative. So they both reduce efficiency. And rarely do I hear people talking about these things. One is debt. The more debt you have, the less efficient you'll be. Hardly surprising, because you're servicing that debt through your spending, aren't you? Number 2 thing that's going to reduce efficiency is the amount of infrastructure you have. The more infrastructure you have, the less efficient you're going to be. Once again, not terribly surprising, because it's got something to do with maintenance, hasn't it? But not something that people are talking about when they're talking about improving efficiency. People aren't talking about debt. People aren't talking about the amount of infrastructure you have to maintain. When people are thinking about new infrastructure projects, are they talking about efficiency? According to the robust empirical scholarly evidence, they should be. Number 2, what dominates the production function, the thing that drives expenditure in local government? You've seen this slide before, but this time I'm pointing out the things that are statistically significant. And what is the biggest thing that's always statistically significant? Population density. Exactly the same as efficiency, for more or less the same reasons. Population density is the thing that dominates in Australian local government, not population size. It's all about the density. Other things that are driving expenditure are the incomes, the median incomes of the residents in the area. Typically, the more money people earn, the higher the local government level of local government services that they want, and therefore higher expenditure. That's very important for one of the reasons that we'll look at later in this video. So please remember that one. Also, business income, for much the same reason. When businesses have higher incomes, they require higher service levels. And finally, grants. Grants do what they're supposed to do. They encourage you, they induce spending. So these are the main things driving your spending: population density, the incomes of your residents and business, and the size of the grants flowing to your local government. Now, the third thing that most people won't know is that shared services don't increase efficiency at all. They actually reduce efficiency. I've shown this in 2 papers now. This particular one's taken out of a journal paper published at Public Administration, the best journal in the world. So you can be sure that it was done rigorously and properly. And what we showed using South Australian data is that shared services are associated with an increase to expenditure in the order of 7.8% to unit expenditure. That's phenomenal. I was even startled by how high that was. And we also went through and looked at particular shared services. The ones that will reduce spending are health in this particular jurisdiction, but the ones most likely to increase your spending are procurement and shared works in terms of flood mitigation. Really, really interesting, because during amalgamation debates all the time, and Tasmania, we're hearing this again, look, let's move to shared services. It will make us more efficient. But if we look at a very long panel data, 2013 to 2017, and a jurisdiction that lists all their shared services, and we do the econometrics, robust, proper work, we find that no, shared services aren't reducing expenditure at all. In fact, they're doing the opposite. So, how are you going? Please let me know in the comments. Some people do, and I always find it interesting. And lots of people have asked for more of these videos. That's why I'm doing them. So I hope you're enjoying them. How many of those 3 things did you know? Did you know number 4? That taxation effort is negatively associated with wages. This is from a paper, ATF, our top-ranked tax journal. I did it quite a few years ago now. Top-ranked tax journal for Australia. And what I showed was that as wages go up, the tax effort of local governments go down. Now, I've actually replicated this work in other states other than New South Wales, and I found the same thing. Now, that's really problematic, because recall from those earlier slides that as wages go up, our expenditure goes up. People demand higher services and more services. Yet, as wages go up, we're taxing as a proportion of income less. That's a real problem. And I bet it comes as a surprise to most of you. Number 5. My videos wouldn't be the same if I didn't mention amalgamation, but it's such a disaster in Australia. In fact, I'm giving a lecture in Japan about this very shortly so their government can learn from our mistakes. This one is based on a paper that was published at LGS, the best local government's journal in the world. I think it was last year, based on Queensland, looking at things after 10 years or so following the amalgamations in 2008. And the question we asked is, do the benefits of amalgamation continue? Now, we use sophisticated difference and difference econometrics. This is beyond dispute. It is a fact. It's an unfortunate fact. But what we found was that after 5 years or so, we weren't getting benefits from amalgamation anymore. The amalgamation treatment itself, controlling for everything else, was actually costing us more in the amalgamated councils. It was reducing efficiency, increasing unit costs. Now, that's really troublesome when you reflect on the fact that New South Wales amalgamations from the get-go have increased costs. If we follow the same pattern as Queensland, and this has occurred overseas as well, where the initial benefits quickly dissipate and start turning into costs instead, if we follow that pattern in New South Wales, we're in serious trouble in a few years' time. Look, once again, sorry for the radio silence. I'll try to do better. I'll try to be healthier in the future. I know people enjoy these videos. Please let me know how many you got. Please let me know if you want to hear more of these. Either email me or put comments in the videos. I'm happy to help if people are being helped by this. And this is all I'm trying to do. And I can't help local government. I can't help the citizens that rely on us without your help. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. If you haven't flicked this video off to someone else who might find it useful, please help me to help others. Thank you very much for your time. Goodbye.